Like with most projects, it's all about accuracy. So with that in mind, for this mug kitchen, I thought I'd start with a detailed plan around what I was going to do. First of all, I marked out all my cuts according to my plan. I moved over to my miter saw, where I used my saw guided by the lines to cut all my lengths. This took quite a while to go through all the different lengths and make all the cuts needed. Once I finished with all my cuts, I moved on to use my pocket hole jig in order to put pocket hole marks in all the pieces. Then on the floor, I started to assemble all the bits using some spacers underneath just to create a little bit of a recess from the joints. So this is where we got to last night. Got much of the basic frame up. And then tonight I'm just going to work on getting these back panels put in, and then tomorrow I can do the racking at the bottom and then move on to the top. I use 4 lengths of old decking for the tabletop. Here's the glue up process. I just apply glue on each of the edges before placing in some homemade clamps. There's nothing pretty about these clamps, but whilst I wait on some parts coming for my other clamps, they'll have to do. No project ever goes right, and here I managed to split one of the ends. I just widened the gap a little bit just so I could get some glue down into it with a spreader, and then I clamped it together and just left it to set for an hour. Couldn't tell much afterwards. My back supports were ever so slightly out of square, which meant that I had to do a little bit of extra cutting just to get everything fitting nice and tight and how I wanted it to. To apply them, I was back onto the pocket hole jig so I could put the screws in from behind, leaving no marks in the front. I sanded all the forward facing edges down to 240 grit. This left a nice smooth finish, waiting for the paint to go on in a short while. It was now time to fit the back panels on. They were cut nice and tight, and a couple needed a little bit of persuasion just to be in the right spots. Here I'm just using my rubber mallet before going in and screwing in with the pocket hole screws. By the time I'd fitted all 4, it really shored up the framework and made everything nice and stable. I plugged the gaps with some wooden dowels just glued into place, and once the glue had dried, I just went through with my multi-tool and just made them all flush with the front edge. I received some unexpected help from my little boy. It's always good to have a second pair of hands to hold things down sometimes. The bench top is going to have 2 metal bowls in it. Here I'm just using a circle hole jig that I made out of some MDF just to cut some nice round holes. There's 2 things I hate with woodworking. One's painting, the other's sanding. However, I'm more than impressed with this belt sander. It makes short work. For the top, I just wanted a nice natural looking finish. The wood was already quite dark with it being previously stained for decking. So I just put on a little bit of Danish oil. Just moved inside now. Get some painting done last night, just to let it dry. To attach the top, I used some metal L brackets. I do have to apologise though, the filming by Junior's not really that good. He's a little bit shaky with his camera skills. And this was a finished product shortly before it was delivered. I was quite pleased with how it came out, especially when I moved on, put all the accessories out with it, and took the final shots.
And that's the finished build.
I think I much prefer this method, using pocket hole joinery. It looks much smarter, much neater, all round more professional. I think this might be the future for mud kitchens. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed, hit the picture button to subscribe, and also on the right there'll be another video coming up. Bye for now.